Is that Bec Hyatt?
Yes,
Wow, she's the ladies are very punctual. Have you noticed that?
they are.
I like that. So you can follow Bec Hyatt on Twitter at Rowdy Bec, ROWDYBEC. She is going to be fighting yesterday's guest, Carla Esparza, at Invicta FC 4. This is for the inaugural strawweight title. And again, you can watch the broadcast at invictafc.com. This is a pay-per-view, but it's not much they're asking for, and we ask that you support. They delivered with free fights throughout 2012. Now it's our turn to have their back, and they're giving us a fine card with, I believe, 14 fights. Shayna Baszler versus Alexis Davis, Raquel Pennington versus Leslie Smith, Sarah D. Alelo versus Amanda Nunez, Hirayoko Yamanaka's on the card, Joanne Calderwood's on the card, Stephanie Frostos on the card. The list goes on and on. So get out there and support. Again, Saturday the 5th in Kansas City, Kansas, the venue, Memorial Hall. Tickets are available, and you can go to the weigh-ins. That's open to the public. So go to Invicta FC for more information. Now let's bring on Bec Hyatt. How are you, Bec?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. Welcome to MMA Junkie Radio. You're on with George and Goes. Pleasure to have you on. Are you already out in Kansas City?
Yes, I am arrived on Monday, actually.
Oh, wow. So you got there early, huh?
Yeah, I did. I got to have 2 New Year's Eves as well, which was always a bonus.
Oh, that is pretty cool.
2 New Year's Eve.
Which one do you like better?
Yeah.
Well, I spent the Australian one on the plane, so the Kansas City one was better.
Yeah, I was going to say, how were you able to pull that off? But, okay, so you were on the plane. Now, how was the plane? Was the plane in any celebratory mode?
The plane was really long and really boring, and no one celebrated or anything.
No? No one did? Were you already in the air, or were you guys just boarding? How did that work?
We were actually in flight, so I think everyone was just asleep and didn't really care.
Did the pilot at least make an announcement?
No, nothing.
Wow.
But you knew, right? You were keeping an eye on the watch?
Yeah, I knew. I couldn't sleep that much on there, so I was still like watching the clock and going, oh yeah, it's New Year's now.
But how did you know what time zone you were exactly over? It could be you were an hour early or an hour late.
We still had our clocks set to Queensland time, so that's what we were just going by.
Now, the flip side to all this is, what if the pilot actually came out and was double fisting 2 beers saying, Happy New Year, everyone? That'd be a little scary, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I probably would have freaked out.
Yeah. How long was that flight?
All up, we did about 26 hours in transit.
Wow.
Yeah.
Have you already shaken off the jet lag?
Yeah, we arrived at a really good time. We got in at night time, so it felt like we had a huge day and just was able to go to bed straight away. So we woke up feeling normal.
How come your accent is very understandable, and a lot of Aussies I talk to, it takes me a while to figure out what the heck they're saying.
Really? I still get weird looks when I go into the shop and ask for things. They're like, they don't quite understand me.
I can understand her perfectly. Like there's this app called Voxer, Voxer, and what it is you can walkie-talkie other people throughout the world for free. And we have a lot of MMA Junkie Radio listeners in Australia, and they'll Vox me, and they'll leave me like 2-minute messages. Well, I only really get about 15 seconds of it, because most of the time it just sounds like they're mumbling or I can't figure out the slang, and so then I Vox them back, and I'm thinking maybe they think the same thing about me, but in reality, probably not. But I don't know. I can understand
we can understand you guys pretty easy because we watch all the movies, so we're used to the accent. But we do have some of us mumble, and we do have a weird slang as well, so I can understand how it's hard.
See, that's the last thing I wanted to hear, because if you're used to my accent, then it's not unique. Thereby, I'm nothing special, right?
Yeah, we don't sound cool in the clubs, right?
Right.
No, you do sound cool. You sound cool.
Oh, really? So if I were to go to a club, the chicks would go, wow, that guy's cool.
Oh, yeah. They'd swarm you, I reckon.
Because I'll be honest, I mean, when I hear the Australian accent or the UK accent, I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. I like it.
Yeah, I like the UK accent as well.
See, the UK accent and the Australian accent are similar to me, and I know I'm going to get some grief over that.
Really?
I mean, in a way, yes, in a way, no, but I can differentiate sometimes. And then throw in the South African accent, and I'm not too good at it.
That one gives me a little bit of trouble, the South African one. But just think Big Ben Barlow and then think Michael DeWitt Chavello. Those guys don't sound alike.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
Beck, let's talk some mixed martial arts here. You lost to Rhiannon Thompson, all right, in 2011. That was only a little bit over a year ago, and yet you were able to shake that off and get on a 4-fight win streak, and now you're fighting at Invicta FC 4 in the main event. First of all, how hard was that first loss, and did you ever question yourself that you could maybe put yourself in this position to now be headlining a big event?
The loss was hard. It broke my heart. Everyone wants to win. I don't go in there to lose. So, yeah, it did break my heart, but I had the best time of my life in there. It's probably one of my favourite fights. I got to go in there and I threw Superman punches and overhand rights and I dictated the fight, and it was going my way until I got kicked in the head and I made a silly mistake by dropping my hand. So, yeah, it didn't really discourage me. I just thought, yeah, it probably gave me more determination to get back in there and prove to everyone that I'm not just that girl that got knocked out in her first fight. Because a lot of people said, oh, how's she going to come back from this? That'd end the girl's career, blah, blah, blah. But I'm one of those girls with a big chip on their shoulder, and I've got to prove everyone wrong. So that's probably what drove me more to success than anything.
So getting out there and exchanging punches and getting hit, for you, that's a thrill. You like that?
Yeah, I'm more excited than anything. I know a lot of fighters freak out and they're really nervous. I'm just like a little kid on Christmas Day. I'm really excited and just can't wait to get out there.
No fear at all?
No, no fear. Probably my first fight I was a little bit because I didn't know what to expect. But now, like, I've had the worst that can happen to you, so now it's not really that bad. I went to sleep and I woke up and I was like, oh, yeah, I lost, but it didn't hurt. You didn't feel anything, so I know what to expect. So I go in there with no fear, just excitement, really.
And was that the first time you've ever been knocked out, and this would include, training as well?
Yeah. I've been choked unconscious before in training, but it was the first time I've been knocked out.
And you feel like because that's probably the worst it can get, that's why you have lost a little bit of the fear of, losing? Or is it something about being embarrassed or, being knocked out in front of others? I often hear that too.
I've seen some fighters peeing their pants so they've been knocked out. That's probably my biggest fear, is peeing my pants.
I never knew that could happen, and now it's my biggest fear.
Yeah. I've seen some people in Australia that have been knocked out and they've woke up in a puddle. So, yeah, that's probably what I'm scared of.
What? Really? In MMA? Or are you talking about on the streets of Queensland?
No, in MMA.
I've never seen that. I've seen people get knocked out, but I've yet to see the puddle.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Wow. And you think that may happen to you someday? Or, I guess you're hoping it won't, but that's one of your biggest fears then.
Yeah, I don't want to pee my pants in public.
I don't think it's the end of the world. It's kind of warm on a cold night, but
yeah, it might warm me up in Kansas City.
No, I'm thinking, is it cold out there, by the way?
It is freezing.
Really?
I've never been near the snow, and it is freezing.
Now you got me thinking. I definitely want to avoid a street fight now because with everybody having camera phones and DSLR cameras, not only would you be knocked out on YouTube, but there'd be a puddle of pee for everyone to see you.
It's a double
it'd
whammy.
be like yellow snow around you here.
Wow. What? Pink seems to be your color, right?
Yes, yeah, I love pink. I love bright colors.
You gonna be rocking the pink this weekend?
My fight attire is actually green and gold, the Aussie colours.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so I've got a big Aussie theme this time because I think it fits. I'm the first Australian fighter to fight on Invicta, so I definitely wanted to come out and have everyone know that I'm Australian.
Are you popular in Australia?
Yeah, I am. I have quite a big following in Australia, especially in Brisbane. That's where I'm from, like where I live at the moment. So, and I have a big following in America as well. It's crazy to actually get on Facebook and look at all the statistics and see who's following you.
Okay, Goes. What do you got for Bec?
So, Bec, what are your thoughts on Invicta? We hear from all the people who live out here and how much it's done for the females here in this country. But what about you? I mean, you come from Australia. I'm sure you heard all the buzz about Invicta. This is your first fight with them. What do you think so far?
I'm stoked to be working with Invicta. They are an amazing promotion. But like you said, they're doing so much for women's MMA. And to bring in an Aussie, it's not cheap. So they've helped me out so much, bringing me over and giving me the opportunity to showcase my skills. So and they've been great. Any question I've had, they've answered. They've looked after us really well. So I'm more than happy.
Here's some notes on Bec Hyatt. Bec Hyatt takes on Carla Esparza at Invicta FC 4 for the inaugural women's strawweight title. Hyatt, after losing her pro debut in 2011, went 4-0 in 2012, a feat only one UFC fighter, Matt Brown, matched in the calendar year. Hyatt shares a nickname with UFC women's bantamweight champ Ronda Rousey, and that is Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Rowdy Ronda Rousey went 4-0 in 2011, and Rowdy Bec Hyatt duplicated the feat this past year. Go ahead, Goes. What else do you have?
Now I forgot, George.
Oh, sorry.
I don't remember what I was going to ask her next. Oh, yeah. No, I remember what I was going to ask her about Carla Esparza. How much? I obviously, you talked a little bit about your fears in the cage, but I know a lot of fighters do a lot of visualization. Can you talk a little bit about the way you see the fight? I mean, obviously, without giving away too much of your strategy, but how you see it playing out. You know, what do you see when you see Carla Esparza in front of you?
I see her coming out quite wild, trying to prove that she can stand with me. She's made a few comments that I'm a brawler and that my stand-up's impressive and stuff like that. And I think that maybe she might want to prove to everyone that she can hang with me. So I'm hoping she comes out and we just get it on and put on a good fight for the crowd.
You got a very cool Twitter page, I must tell you, too. Again, at Rowdy Bec, ROWDYBEC. I really love the background there. It reminds me of the old Batman series.
Oh, thank you. One of my supporters made that for me.
Really?
Yeah. I have all these crazy people making crazy photos for me. It's awesome.
I was just about to say, isn't it the coolest sport? The fans are so passionate, and the fighters like yourselves are so accessible that you can come together and they can actually help your career flourish.
Yeah, they're amazing. I love my supporters. They're always messaging me and commenting and giving me support. And I wouldn't be able to do the things that I do without them. And they've always got my back. If I need them, I'm like, Rowdy Warwagon, where you at? Help me out. And they're always right there, willing to help out, willing to like pages or shout out for me, share my page. So they're awesome.
Twitter itself, the company says that a good background like this is the key to getting more followers. Is one of the keys, I should say.
Yeah, you definitely have to catch people's attention. You can't have the same old boring stuff, otherwise you just blend in.
And look at you. I'm looking at your timeline. You did a ton of interviews, didn't you?
I have done a million interviews. It's been so hectic, but it's been fun. I've been enjoying talking to everyone and just hearing the American accent. It kind of cracks me up a little bit.
Pretty sexy, isn't it?
Okay, yeah, it is a little bit.
She's rolling her eyes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, guys, it's sexy. Can
Can
I move on now?
She's rolling her eyes while we're trying to book flights to Australia right now.
Is this your last interview?
Pardon?
Is this your last interview?
No, I've got a few more today as well.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, Bec, at least we talked about pee and flights and New Year's and other stuff, so maybe it wasn't as tedious as these can be. You got about 20 seconds. Is there anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank my major sponsor, Unrivaled, my gym, Impact MMA, and all my training partners. If you could get on my Facebook at Rowdy Bec or my Twitter and check out my banner with all my sponsors on it as well. And I'd love to thank Invicta for the opportunity, and I can't wait to put on a show for you guys.
Thank you for the time, Bec. Good luck on Saturday.
Thanks, guys. Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye. Give her a follow, folks, at Rowdy Bec. Man, both ladies were cool. Carla was a sweetheart yesterday. Bec, just great personality as well today. And one of these two ladies will be crowned the inaugural strawweight champion at Invicta FC 4 on Saturday. Go to Invicta FC 4 for more information. Speaking of, we'll have their president, Shannon Knapp, on tomorrow, as well as Michael Chandler. And possibly one other top name. We'll be right back.